Are you willing to pay the price for success? Success is a thing that a lot of people, when they start, they think it's going to be a breeze. They think everything is going to come out really easily and everything's going to make sense, and then they get hit hard with the reality of building success. Look, for a lot of people, success doesn't happen like that or even in a few months. Success can take anywhere from 6 months to a year or even a couple years or more. And I want you to understand that during that time, one of the biggest prices you pay is realizing that you don't fit in and realizing that being alone is something you need sometimes to gather yourself and focus on what you need to do. Also, you might experience a lot of built up emotion. You might experience, you know, people or circumstances in your life becoming, showing their true colors, because when you start grinding and you seriously start taking it seriously, a lot of people for a while, will act like they support you. But the minute you start making a little bit of money, the minute you start taking your goal serious and separating yourselves from the people that aren't taking their goals serious, like your old friends, you start realizing that they were never there to support you. They were there to be with you until you surpass them. All right. And I want to say one of the biggest things you pay for success is loneliness. There's going to be a lonely chapter when you realize that you don't completely fit in with your friends, but at the same time, you don't want to leave them. Some people want to help build with them, but you also understand that these are your friends, but they aren't as hungry as you for success. And then you got to make a choice. Do you bring them up with you, even if they're not taking it serious? For example, some people will help them gather themselves, get what they need, even though they're not that serious. And then while they grind, they focus on their grind, but let their friends do their own thing to see if they're serious. And a lot of them aren't. And when they get to the top, some people are willing to help their old friends, because some people say that, I've known them for 10 years, I've known them for a while, they're my brother, I don't want to see them fail. And you have to make the choice to you, not to me, not to your parents, to you. Is it worth bringing your boy or your boys or your friends, whoever they are, with you to the top? Will they actually support you or will they backstab you? And trust me, when you separate yourself from these people, when you have that lonely chapter where you start talking to them less, you start having a lot of built up emotion coming in, you need that alone time to gather yourself so that you understand what's going on, you understand your emotions and why they're coming up, and you take time to clear your head, you meditate, you pray, you do things that you need instead of prioritizing playing the game with your buddy or going out to your favorite restaurant with your buddy. You start really prioritizing yourself. This is when those friends will truly show you if they are really serious about supporting you and coming up with you. Just know that. And trust me, you'll see the signs. You just got to pick up on them. If they're serious, they'll, check up on you, help you, contact you. Even if it's not a lot, they'll do something to stay in contact with you, no matter what it is. All right? But success, there's a lot of prices to pay. It's not easy. It's lonely. A lot of people are never actually serious about it. Just you having the thought in your mind that you want to be successful and that you want to make millions of dollars or billions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's not normal. A lot of people that have these experiences, such as myself, we think, oh, that must be a normal thing. But then we look around us and we're like, oh. You start having conversation with people that, are average, have, wanted to go to college or work a job, and they start downing on you or saying you're crazy or clowning you because you want to do that or laughing at you. And you realize that 99.9% of people don't want to be successful. They've been dimmed down to the point where they'll accept average no matter what. So having these thoughts, it's not a common thing, dude. And I want you to understand that you have to make a bunch of choices, not only for your friend group, but mainly for yourself. Do you take them with you? Do you separate? Do you help them and let them grind themselves? What is your choice? And if you don't have any friends, you have to understand that you are the only person that can make yourself successful. You have no help. And a lot of the time during this time, a lot of people's family doesn't support them. A lot of their environment changes. They get stressed. They can't sleep. When you are trying to be successful, you pay the price of your own peace in a sense. You start stressing out over what's the next step, how to do this, how can I make this better, how can I learn from this. It's very hard to actually sleep, and for some people such as myself, the sleep comes during the day because all night your mind's so active that you just cannot sleep a lot of the time because all you can think about is what am I going to do tomorrow, how am I going to make tomorrow the most productive day for my next step of success. And it's very hard for a lot of people that are actually serious about success to actually sleep because the only time they sleep is when their mind is exhausted from thinking. And especially like if you're in a standstill. For example, like if you're working a job and you haven't been working for personal reasons, or maybe your boss called you off, not necessarily fired, but whatever. And I'm experiencing this right now. My boss has called me off because he has family issues, and I work for outside labor for my boss's private business. He is a family friend. Now he hasn't fired me or anything, but due to the snow and his family stuff going on, I have not been able to work since Christmas. And trust me, this point in my life has been very hard because I have been planning everything I want to do this year for my success, but I'm being held back. I'm not seeing it as a bad thing. I know in the back of my head, everything is going to work out perfectly. But there's just that point when you want it now and you want to start doing it right now, but you can't because you don't have the resources. So you do everything you can with the resources you have, but it still feels like you're not doing enough in a sense. And a lot of people experience somewhat of that scenario. If it's not a job, it's something similar when they're grinding for success. They feel like they're never doing enough. They never have the resources, and they use the resources as much as they can to do what they're doing. But it still feels like they need more, and they have to figure out kind of the balance of everything with what they are given. So if they don't have a laptop, they have to, use their phone, right? They got to come up with solutions to their problems that will get them step by step into the next direction. So the price of success, it's a heavy price, but a big, big reward. Because when you make these unrealistic goals, when you believe yourself and you're kind of delusional in the belief in yourself, and you know that God, Jesus Christ, will provide for everything you need so that you can take these steps. You have this vision that God gave you of these things, and you're sitting there trying to put it all together, and it will take time, and trust me, it will stress you out. But when you achieve it, you will never have that feeling in that exact sense again. When you get that first 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, 100 grand, you will have this sense of, I did it, that you will never ever feel again. And all your mind will be after that is, how can I make this 1 million? How can I make this 2 million? And you start understanding that you are limitless. As a human being, you are limitless. You are a creator. You create. You don't always consume. You must create. And when you start realizing that money and just abundance itself is limitless, you start creating that abundance in your life. And that's why success takes time, because you have to learn to create these things without hesitation so that money and abundance of life comes to you. You kind of have to align your mindset and your actions so that abundance becomes attractive to you. So you have to take action into being successful if you want it. And during that time, you have to build your mind, build your mindset, build your everything about yourself so that you can keep these things, not waste these things. And that takes trial and error and sometimes years to achieve. But trust me, once you prove yourself wrong and everyone sees after laughing at you and downing on you that you did it, tell you, bro, you are going to feel amazing. The price of success is by far worth it in the end, because you get freedom to live whatever life, however you want. I hope this helps you understand your success and why things are happening. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.